Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing amazing today, okay? So in another video, right? And so this video was actually inspired by a student from yesterday. One of my students, that's one of the students that, I find this particular class especially interesting because it's conversational English, right? And so we don't discuss English, obviously, right? We discuss, for the most part, of course, we do have times when I have to explain certain things when that come to English, right? That relate to English, but for the most part, you guys, it's more like a life coaching session, okay? So, our topics are a lot more spiritual in nature, right? And so we kind of talk about what we're being led to talk about, So if he has a certain question or if I have a certain question, so the conversation kind of just flows, and whatever comes out, then we talk about it, So, and it's interesting because it's very easy to, this class just always flows, flows so well, right? And yeah, and it did, the same yesterday, right? The class was very interesting, and I find that my student really, really enjoys it too, and he always says like thank you at the end, and he seems very grateful, and so am I, And so one of the topics that came out yesterday was about your ego. Okay, it's about your ego and confidence, okay, and how your ego relates to confidence. And so my student asked, right, he said, isn't being confident having a big ego or having an ego? And I looked at him and I said, well, you know what, actually no. Think of it this way, right? Think of a crab that has a shell and then he gets out of his shell. When he comes out of his shell, he feels weak, he feels vulnerable, he feels like someone, a predator is going to eat him, right? And so that's exactly how we feel when we no longer have our ego. We feel vulnerable, we feel very human. We feel exposed, and we feel like someone might attack us or take advantage of us, right? So, and without your ego, you are vulnerable. You're just like a child at some point in their life, right? You're, being with the wrong people can definitely hurt you, right? If you don't have that ego on, basically, right? An ego is like your spiritual protection, I guess, It's an unseen protection, or actually it is seen too, okay? And I will tell you how that is, right? How that works, right? Or how you can see it on others. So, a lot of us mistakenly think that having an ego is being confident, okay? But in fact, it's actually the opposite, okay? The bigger your ego, the less confident you are, and the more wounds that you have that haven't been addressed. Okay, so the bigger your ego, the more demons you will carry with you, okay? The more demons you're carrying, the more darkness you have, and the greater your problems, your mental, emotional problems are that you haven't addressed yet, okay? And so that's why also... And also it becomes very apparent on others too, guys, okay? It's very easy to view someone with a big ego, okay? And so more often than not, a lot of people mistaken this having this huge ego for being confident, right? When in reality, it's actually fake confidence, okay? Because someone with an ego, without an ego or without too much ego, is going to come off as very balanced, okay? They're gonna come off as very balanced, very stable, right? So they're not going to have their nose up in the air, their chest puffed out, right? Which tends to happen with a big ego, right? So of course, our ego is also expressed physically, right, and in our body language, through our body language, right? And so someone with an ego, the first thing that will be very apparent if you learn how to read body language is someone who is walking around with their nose up in the air, basically because the ego thinks that it is better than everyone else, right? It doesn't view you or me or him or her, right, as an equal. It views itself as better than everyone else. And so that's how a person will portray themselves too. They will walk around like this, just like, pretending to be confident, okay? And so when there's an over exaggeration of anything, okay, that means the person is trying to compensate for whatever it is that they're not actually feeling on the inside, okay? So if they don't feel confident on the inside, they're going to try to compensate for that lack of confidence by pretending to be very confident, okay? And so a person who is in their true confidence is going to come off, everything is about balance, right? And so a person who is truly confident is not going to walk around with their head up in the air, right? And the chest puffed out, right? They're going to remain very balanced. And that's exactly how they're going to come off, is balanced, right? Their head is going to be like this, right? It's not going to be low, right? It's not going to be low. It's not going to be too high. It's just going to be balanced, right? If your head is very low, that in your body, when it comes to your body language, if your shoulders are slouched, that means that you're actually displaying that lack of self-confidence too, right? And so a lack of self-confidence, right? Overconfidence, over fake confidence, by the way, right? And true confidence, which is balance, right? And so this is how you have to look at it, okay? Someone with a huge ego is going to put out an act, okay? They're going to pretend like they have a lot of confidence when in reality they don't, okay? They're going to boast. They're going to brag. They're going to try to convince everyone around them that they're so great, that they're so loved, that they're amazing, and that, and they're going to dress a certain way just to impress everyone, okay? They're going to wear brand name clothing, okay? They're going to, and they're going to act, okay? They're going to talk about the best jobs. They're gonna tell you that they're, the CEO of a company, right? They're going to talk about, the stars that they maybe hang out with, right? Or that they knew. They're going to talk about superficial things for the most part, okay? And they're going to pretend like they're confident, but in reality a person with a huge ego actually has a huge mask on, okay, and a lot of problems underneath, okay? And so they're going to overcompensate for that lack of confidence by pretending to be someone they're not, okay? And that's a confident, very competent person, right? Like, that's someone who's a competent person, right? And so that's kind of hard to say those two words at the same time, okay? Anyway, so yeah, you get the point, right? And so there's a huge difference, okay? And I don't know why, but for some reason, most people confuse, okay, confidence with having a big ego, okay? It's actually the other way around, okay? It means that underneath it all, the person with a huge ego has very low self-esteem, okay? They're very damaged, very hurt. They are, in fact, when they are exposed to the person with true confidence, that they snap usually. They snap, they get angry, they lash out, they try to nag or say something to lower that person's confidence. They will try to yell at them, basically, right? And so there's that, right? And so there's they basically they get threatened, extremely threatened by someone with true confidence, okay? And that's a person with a huge ego, okay? And so that's what I noticed too in my life. Usually people who have a huge egos, they feel extremely threatened by me, okay? And so there's that, right? And it can be a man or a woman, it doesn't matter, you know, it doesn't matter at all, right? And so true confidence, guys, it's not loud. It is loud in the sense, right, because the energy kind of speaks for itself, right? But it's actually very, very balanced, okay? It's you don't have to brag. You don't have to tell everyone how great you are. You might have had a lot of accomplishments, but you don't talk about it really unless you're trying to, you know, prove a point or tell a story that kind of, I don't know, that you're trying to teach from, right? And so there's that, right? And so you don't go around telling people how great you are, okay? You view everyone as equals, you know, with true confidence. And you don't hate other people, you don't get jealous, you want everyone with true confidence, you want everyone to do well. You want to see everyone win. You want to see everyone succeed. Okay, you're without that huge ego, you're no longer competing with other people, but you actually want other people to win too. Okay, so you understand that when one person wins, another person loses. Okay, so you want to come up with a situation that well, you know, where the outcome will be two winners, okay, basically, okay, and you want to connect to others, you want to understand them, right, and rather than kicking them down, you know, seeing them fail, right, and so that's the problem, guys, with today's society, is that a lot of people are operating from their egos, right, and so that creates a lot of issues, right, and that creates a lot of misunderstandings and very, very unhappy people, right? And so you know, that's why I think I talk about our ego so much, right, in my videos. It's because it's a defense mechanism that, you know, that's not really serving us. It's not, okay, believe it or not. And you know, once we heal, we can actually experience the death of our ego, right? Where it just becomes very dormant, right? And you become very much aware when you're using it and when you're operating from it, right? And so that just makes everything just so much better, right? Or your interactions, your world will just really, really, it will really change for the better, okay? When you're not using your ego, when you're not coming from your ego, you know? And so it's a wonderful feeling, and it will just allow you to experience life in just a completely different way, you know? So if you are that person with a huge ego, right, then you have to work on your inner self in order to really build, to heal, right, and to heal your wounds and to develop that true self-esteem, okay? And that's going to, you know, that's going to allow you to stop operating from your ego and in turn stop pretending, right, to be someone that you're not, okay? Anyways, I hope you really enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, okay? And I will see you in another video.